AI that improves its own method sounds very exciting, but other companies really providing all the authority to this memory to rewrite its own steps by learning what has happened, or human is still there in the loop?
Yeah, I would definitely say human is still at the. I'll probably. I've matured on from the last 18 months to not say human in the loop anymore. I would almost say human at the helm. Humans to be at the helm of it. Um, it's it's interesting to see which parts or which organizational elements could actually use this to be truly autonomous, because you don't want some very random action to be taken because an
Yeah.
agent loop decided this would be good for this particular business unit. A good example would be when somebody comes to Salesforce, for example, on
Hmm.
help.salesforce.com, asking for, hey, I'm trying to use this product,
Hmm.
but I don't see this feature turned on. I'm not able to see this menu option available in my thing. What our help.salesforce.com agent does is basically is
Yeah.
indexed over 800, 900,000 documents.
Hmm.
And it's a very, very semantically driven memory.
Yeah.
But now, if this customer, the agent also asks, would you like to connect your org? Or will you be able to willing to
Hmm.
authenticate using your org ID? If the customer is willing to give their org ID, the agent can go in and further check if this feature capability is even available in their org, because maybe it's available behind three other menu options that they have not even hit yet. Right?
Hmm.
So the memory here is very important, where you can define, is this agent having access to this memory to go and make these changes on behalf of the customer
Hmm.
without them even asking. So in this case, a mere lookup is
Hmm.
also going and doing that lookup even without guiding the
With-
customer 10 steps, right? So
Mhm.
that's a simplest use case that we often see in our day-to-day on our
Mhm.
Salesforce public website.
Yeah, and I would also like to share some facts. Those are very hard numbers, and I'm sure it is not surprising to you. You might be hearing that almost daily, that Gartner expects more than 40% of the AI agents project to be canceled by end of 2027. It's nothing new to you and me, right? Because of cost, unclear value, weak controls. Another one, IDC says 88% of AI agent test projects never make it to real world.
Mm.
And Rand looked over 2,000 projects and found that more than 80% fail, about twice the failure rate of normal ID projects.
Mm.
But here's a line that matters most. In almost every case, the model is not failing. Teams don't fail because they have picked the wrong AI model.
Mhm.
They fail
Mhm.
on data, they fail on plumbing, they fail on the memory around it, right? The gap between great demo and working product isn't the model gap. It's a kind of gap which also includes memory gap. Does it what you also see with the customers working along
Mhm.
with you?
I think all those facts that you said is almost turning out to be quite a reality in a lot of customer scenarios, right? The way it is being interpreted in a lot of C-suite boards is like intelligence
Mhm.
is a utility now, but
Yes.
the context slash memory is your biggest moat of any company. Models will come and go every week. There's a new model, but what will not change is the context memory relationship and the procedures that you have built around your how your companies
Hmm.
works with your end customers. And that is the layer that everybody wants to control.
Hmm.
And I almost see that as like the next exciting field. Like there is which we'll talk about in like what are the future opportunities here. There's
Yeah.
definitely new career roles that will be created, new industry opportunities that will be created around the technical stack as well. So it's a very exciting time.
Yeah. So from your experience, what are the problem people don't see coming until it is already live?
Yeah, I would say not having a well defined semantic memory. What that means is you haven't spent time cleaning up your data of what is the right data set that has to go into an agent.
Data is such a huge, and I think everything is related to data only,
So
right?
true.
So,
So true. That is probably a good example. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but I'll give a a really interesting example. I
Yeah.
won't name the customer, but they were actually self-implementing the
Mm.
platform that they bought from us, and they are a car rental company. They
Mm.
You can rent cars, get chauffeurs and things like that from them. Pretty much a 30, 40, 50-year old business, I think,
Mm.
spread across a few regions across the globe. Not truly global, but regionally global. And they implemented the agents, working well, quite happy. They come back to us 6 months later saying, "Hey, our agent has given out over 500K USD worth of discount vouchers, which should have actually been given to premier customers only, is actually randomly distributed to everybody and anybody by giving them 80% discount, 90% discount on
Oh my
their
God.
car rental bookings." On one side, the company was very happy because they were getting customers by the
Hmm.
word of mouth marketing. People were sharing, "Oh, I'm
Hmm.
getting 70% discount. Just go and sign up here." But they didn't realize they were burning down on the discount team department. The discounting team audit only came up 6 months later, and
Hmm.
they decided to pull the agent down, saying maybe
Hmm.
something bad is happening here. And our teams had to go and investigate, and it was basically the way the instructions were hard coded for this agent.
Oh.
And that is the semantic memory not being well defined. It's a real world bad actor example of what an agent could do when it is given real financial motivation to go and give out discount vouchers.
Yeah, and
And
even a small thing can make a difference,
it does.
right, in the revenue.
It
So,
does. It does. And I'm sure all the CFOs are
and I
dreading about
wonder
it.
why it took them 6 months to identify. Um,
The discount team is probably often seen as like a marketing expenditure. And as long as they were generating leads, I don't think they were paying attention. And the discounting team's budget for the year hadn't turned red. And it turned red
mm,
mid of the year, where they had already overburned the budget. And that's what caught their attention. And then everything was like reconnected back to, oh, it's this agent that is causing the issue. But it's not just the agent, it's actually the context and the semantic
instruction.
mentions. Yes.
Yeah. So, see, as we spoke before, that human in the loop is really needed. So, where do you think most of the enterprises are struggling? One is defining the semantic layer. Is there anything else you want to touch base on?
Yeah, I think what is still immature is many of them are yet to fully refine the episodical memory,
Hmm.
because what you can still go and get production grade ready tools and platforms today is around your working memory. The procedural memory couldn't be sorted really well. There are tools and platforms, but
Yeah.
episodical memory is very, very much yours. And companies who do not know how to even get started in that direction are struggling quite a lot. And as we discussed, a bad data in is only going to give a bad data out.
Right.
And many companies do not know the quality of data.
Hmm.
And one of the many reasons why you would assume Salesforce invested quite a lot to acquire a company like Informatica in the first place,
Right.
because we realized there's a lot of customers out there who still are operating with poor quality data, which can actually get better. And we are thinking, how can we actually make it better for them while the agent is in action? Can the
Hmm.
data cleanup happen in the flow?
Hmm.
Not everybody's thinking about it. So I think people need to think about the data cleanup pipeline stages before something even goes to the agent, because otherwise you're just probably burning tokens and spending a lot of unnecessary prompts and context for data that could have been better quality.
We have been seeing working with regulated customers, regulated industries, and the kind of data they are holding, it's from years and years and decades. They do not have the visibility. They do
Yes.
not even single person has the whole architecture of what is my full data looks like, from where it is coming and all of that. So I think it's going to take a while, but you're absolutely right that bad data in is only going to give you garbage data and output. Let's fast forward to maybe 3 years from now, I'm not taking 5 years because every day is a new day. How will enterprise memory you think is really going to evolve? Even
I,
if it is an imagination, it is
yeah.
okay, completely okay.
I'll take a practical approach to look at like what's about to happen next year, and then we'll reimagine the future 2 years from now. Like the next year or so, if you look back at what's happened last 5 years, right? Like with the
Hmm.
models evolving, the whole field of ML ops
Hmm.
evolved, right? Nobody had thought of ML ops as a vertical that people need to go and think and build and even have roles and career opportunities. There's a new category emerging called as MemOps and
Yes.
memory ops. And memory ops will be amazingly giving out problem statements that will be around how do you handle the life cycle of memory changes? How do you
Hmm.
do garbage collection? How do you do security audits for what is changing and what is not changing by the agent memory?
Hmm.
And the questions that I keep hearing from builders around is, should we again go back to putting it back on a blockchain because we
Hmm.
can audit it better, versus should there be a different way to audit it? And I think that's what the next year looks like. There's a lot of engineering problems that are about to open doors which people had not thought about before. The 2 years from now, I would almost see the self-healing capabilities for
Hmm.
memory, which may include the capabilities that I've talked about. Informatica does pack within it a lot of power, like ability to do data cleanup, data duplication checks, data lineage checks. A
Hmm.
lot of these are feature parities today, but imagine these being available within your memory's capability, that
Hmm.
every time a new data is being inserted, the agent that lives within the memory layer is able to automatically say, hey, don't bring this inside because this already exists. So
Hmm.
even before the context journey is complete, it might just prompt the user ahead of time saying, you're just wasting your time and effort. It's already flagged up upstairs to you. So self prompting and self-healing capabilities for the agent episodical memory, for example, I think is
Hmm.
definitely on the horizon in the next 2 years. The real distant future is memory that can actually continue to exist on the edge. I think that's what I'm excited about,
Hmm.
that actually can be on the fly, that doesn't have to really depend on the large language models in a way. And everybody is looking forward to what does that small on the edge memory look like. There are different providers coming up with different contexts. If you're working with like devices that can actually record your
Hmm.
voice and transcribe meetings today,
Yeah.
that is only unidirectional. It's not
Hmm.
telling you what not to do. I
Hmm.
think that there is a future state where it will complete the other side of the loop as well.
Very, very interesting. Last question, Ajay. What should leaders begin to invest today?
Yeah, I would say simplify the use case. If you're the most complex one, you're actually bound to get to the less successful path very easily.
Hmm.
And that's one of the scenarios that we've seen after having rolled out thousands of agents from a Salesforce's perspective. Customers who start with the least complex use case journey and then take the success blueprint and
Hmm.
then expand are most likely to advance and be very successful in the future. The disaster stories that we keep hearing through
Hmm.
the MIT reports or the Gartner stories are all
Yeah.
because they started through the inverted funnel approach. They
Hmm.
went and did the big bang approach of the use case, and only to realize 90% of the plan had to be thrown out.
Yeah.
So that includes the data strategy, that includes how do you come up with the right memory architecture, that comes up
Hmm.
with, do you even have the right upskilling for your people who are actually going to be working on this project, and how do you keep that ongoing continuous loop of upskilling as well, because models are changing, memory
Hmm.
architectures are in a way evolving, so you need to keep on with that pace. So I would say it's a combination of several things, but it all comes down to the right investment and the right use case.
Great. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ajay, for your time. It was wonderful talking to you again.
Thank you very
All
much,
right.
Jess.